Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kind of hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Now! Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternating. We're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm film school dropout Robert Jarosinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer Carrie Jarosinski and our very own critic in residence Tim Brayton. The summer's over, folks, and we're back.
No,
Over. Technically, a couple
over.
more weeks. Although here in God's own city of Madison, felt very nice and fall-like the past few days.
It did.
Been
70
enjoying
degrees.
You said, "Oh no, Carrie, we're back." Are you saying "Oh no" to the end of summer? Are you saying "Oh no" to the fact that we're back?
No, I'm not ready for it to be end of summer, end of the season. No,
Well,
but I'm excited to be back.
I am excited. I missed you guys.
I miss you too.
Like how much?
You know,
Have you missed Carrie the last 4 weeks? Do I
Actually-
need to know something?
gotta say, a little bit of a stress relief not having to. I
See your
love
wife
I
every
love
day.
I love doing
Yeah, right,
I love doing the show and
exactly.
everything, but it's
Having to talk to me
It's tough.
weekly is
all the
is
prep.
stressful.
Yeah, it was nice to have a little bit of time off.
But I feel refreshed. I feel ready and reinvigorated to talk what I love so much.
I do love movies.
We talk about movies,
movies.
right? Okay.
That's
Yeah,
what we do
no.
on this podcast.
I actually
I
don't like
forgot
movies.
that. All right. I need to regroup. I'm good. Give me about 10 minutes.
So what did you end up doing? We had a couple weeks off. We had 4 weeks.
What was the highlights? Let's see. Highlights. We did go to Boston. I haven't
That
told
sounds like
Tim
a
much
highlight.
about this trip, but it was definitely an eye-opening moment for me when I realized that I never want to travel with Rob ever again.
What do you mean?
That seems very much
Is it because
like
I was
worst.
I was caring for both our children and your parents
No.
at the same time?
Rob's like,
And you?
I think I thought I liked to travel with you, but I realized after that trip, I know why people vacation alone, or without their spouse after this trip.
Do people vacation without their spouse?
Rob and I used to judge people that did that
Do
when we
people-
were
do-
young.
So people do that. That's
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it's a thing.
It's
Yeah.
a thing. And
That's a
Rob and
weird
I used to
thing.
be like, what kind of terrible relationships would you ever vacation alone? And now I get it. Rob's
Yeah, you
super
get
stressful to
exactly
travel
what
with.
kind of terrible
Planned,
relationship.
structured. We all have to be places
Yeah,
at the
that
right
sounds- that
time.
sounds
Oh,
terrible.
you would be that
Yeah,
kind.
totally. Everyone has to have sunscreen on at all times, bug spray.
No bug
Super
spray,
stressful.
sure.
If you don't have a reservation, look out. Things are going to get tense.
Sounds awful.
It does sound
sounds
awful.
awful.
The worst.
I
came back
believe your
stressed.
mom actually was quoted at the end of the trip as saying, "I would like Rob to join me for every vacation."
Yeah, she can.
Yeah.
By herself without me.
Because everything was planned to a T.
I'm never going
Never
with
missed
you
anything.
again.
We did public transportation, Tim, in an unknown city in
With two
Boston.
kids and my parents
Planes,
and my dad.
trains, and
uh,
automobiles. We did the whole thing.
Super
Didn't
stressful.
miss a beat.
All right.
So yeah, you don't want to travel with Rob
So
either.
no, God no. Like if I go to a new city, part of the pleasure for me is getting myself lost and then having to find my way back.
You and I next
Whatever.
time.
Let's.
So that was my high/low light. Was
Okay.
the trip to Boston. What about you, Tim?
Well, I did not go to Boston. I did, however, go to the Chicago suburbs.
Yes. Also, good seafood there.
Yes, noted for its seafood is the Great Lakes. No, let's see. What was the highlight of my break? I debuted a new cake recipe. I made what is called a soccer tort. It is a chocolate sponge cake filled with apricot and iced with more chocolate.
I didn't see that you brought that with
Yeah,
you when I
didn't
picked
notice,
you up.
No.
I didn't make it for you.
Okay.
Who did you make it for?
I made it for my sainted mother.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was like a first date kind of thing.
Is that a first?
What are you indicating about my relationship with my mother, you sick fucker?
And I'm not really clear on.
It's a cake,
I'm
Mom.
really not clear on how a cake would be a good first date.
I mean, you're putting it all out there. You're like, this is
feel
all
like,
I got.
I feel like a cake is a pretty
It's bold.
intense
It's
first
too
date.
bold, especially with the ganache and all that kind of
I
stuff.
think it's a little like, by the way, I've already named our children.
Yeah, maybe.
How would you like a second
So let
date
me throw this
gesture.
at you, Tim.
Yes.
Traditionally, sometimes first date or in a date, you bring flowers, maybe.
Maybe.
If someone were to have brought you a ficus as a kind of like a play on the flowers routine for the first date, what would you think about that?
Deal breaker.
I would say it's not a good sign.
Okay.
No.
I
Red
did
flag.
do that. I did bring a ficus at one time.
Who was that?
It's just a random. I have a
Oh,
lot
random.
of randoms
Oh, yeah.
in my past.
I can't remember. You didn't bring me
Did
any.
not-
She dodged a bullet.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Karen, so let me tell
I
you.
know.
Just think of how much better off you'd have been if he'd brought you a ficus. And
Yeah.
so this guy's got issues.
Free.
So what I've done, Karen, before I met you, I combined all of my working knowledge from all my failed relationships.
Yeah.
So on the list, I have somewhere, do not bring ficus on first date.
Okay.
So I employed that
I could
during
actually use a ficus,
during
but-
our dating.
Yeah, no, because you're basically saying, like, you're asking the person you're going on a first date with to take care of a living
care for-
thing. You're basically saying, I'm seeing if you can raise my children by, will you kill this ficus?
I need to check in with her. I
They
wonder if my
returned your
ficus.
ficus.
I wonder
Wait,
if
so
it's
you
still
know her
on-
name?
still
Do
on
you
her-
remember her name?
It's like starts with an E, I think.
An E?
Yeah, I'll have to look her up.
I
her up
did
on
once
Match.com.
from someone I was in a long-standing relationship with. I got a redwood sapling from the California redwood forest, and it died mere days after we broke up. And I did take that to be a very on-the-nose metaphor that I rejected from the screenplay of my life for being far too corny.
Did you take the plant back?
And this was like 6 months later.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I didn't like kill it outright.
Oh, okay.
What's it with you? You can't. Can you return plants?
You can.
Okay.
If you buy plants at like Home Depot, you have a year. If it fails, even if you fucked up,
Okay.
if it dies in the
Yeah,
first year,
save
you
your
can get
receipts.
another one.
Yeah, it's true.
You can just like keep getting the same tree over and over again, just planting it and killing it and planting it and killing it.
Speaking of
I
dying,
may know this from experience.
Yeah, right. Speaking of dying plants, Rob, what was the highlight of your vacation break?
Solid transition.
Yeah.
Solid.
Thanks.
Well, knowing I'd be coming back to this stressful environment, I took on
Of your hellish
I
marriage.
took on
Yeah, right.
medication, of course, but also yoga. I took on some yoga. I started doing some yoga, and it's been very, very therapeutic. I do the hot yoga, Tim.
So when you said it was a nice transition, you meant it was an incredibly awful transition.
It was an incredibly awful transition.
okay, good.
That Carrie did there.
It was a downward
got it.
dog.
That's not bad.
Thanks.
I feel
Kinda?
like that's almost like a Dadaist anti-humor that I really approve of.
Oh,
I like
good,
what's going
good.
on.
Have you ever tried any hot yoga or?
Not hot yoga, unless by hot you mean when I'm doing it, it's hot because I just make it look
It
sexy.
looks really good. Do you wear like the capri pants?
Well,
Tell us more.
I'm trying to decide how much I want to share with the world.
So much. Please tell us so
well,
much.
the last time, so what I'm doing, I installed a phone app that is basically body weight exercises, but a huge part of it is stretching. Like, they want to make sure you don't burst something. So all of the routines, the chest routine, the back routine, and so on, have yoga poses is part of the routine. So I am doing those. I'm not doing yoga, but like yoga
Sure.
is sort of in the world. But because I live alone, and because I'm doing this at like 9:00 at night, my most recent workout clothes was just saying, "Oh fuck it, I'll just take off my jeans and do it in my underpants." So I'm standing there in underpants and an unbuttoned like shirt, just doing yoga,
Sure.
and I felt like a character in like a really awful like it was bad. I felt very ashamed of myself, and I deserve
I'm
to die
installing
alone.
cameras in your house next time I'm there.
All right.
Well,
For
I've
certain.
found it extremely therapeutic. I go to a place called Dragonfly here in Madison, Wisconsin. They have a few.
I know a couple people who
Yeah,
go there.
it's great. It's a therapy session and a work it all in one. The
Like
instructor
you can talk about your dreadful wife and children.
No,
Yeah,
it's just
you can.
And I'm sure all the instructors are like this, but it's just the way he speaks to you in this kind of monotone.
Hello, Rob.
Release the energy from your fingertips. Spread your fingers out. Connect with the floor. It's just. It's
Be
just,
honest.
sure.
Be honest.
You got to be into it. You
So
have
when
to-
we're
you
there,
have to
though,
let
the
go.
guy goes, think about your most recent anger or frustration. Think about that person and let it go. Who were you thinking about,
So
Rob?
that's not what he says.
Werner Herzog?
He says he does nice. He says think about the person who you think needs
The most compassion.
And in both times that I've done the yoga, it was in fact you.
Thanks. Yeah.
I feel like
I
you
do
need the
need the most compassion.
So
Yeah,
We're
I
having
feel
to deal
nothing
with
but
this,
compassion for you.
This high stress life I
my
live
2
in.
hours in your household a week are the low light of my entire month.
well, it is a special day with us being back, and given it is a special day with this return, it will be a special episode.
It will.
As we look back at our top 5 summer box office predictions, that's what we're going to do first. Then we're going to head to a break, and then come back with our top 5 anticipated movies prior.
You do plan everything out
I
too
do.
much, don't you? You
I
could have just done it.
Seems fine now,
Now
but
it's
it gets
like-
old.
now everyone-
it
it's
gets
like-
old.
People like to know what's,
This is like
what's to
when
come.
I have my speech students. I tell them you have to like lay out a roadmap.
Tell them what
This
you're
is
gonna
not
tell
a
'em.
speech. This is a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. No.
Thanks
there's
for
a
keeping
whole-
us on track, though,
Tell
Rob.
us what you're going to tell us. Tell it to us, and then tell us what you told us.
And then I will tell you again, because we're going to go into our worth mentioning
son of a
segment.
bitch.
What is the worth mentioning segment of the movies we've seen since the last episode? Actually, really, it'll only be Tim.
Yes.
Which ones are the ones
In
Tim
4
wants
weeks,
to talk about most?
You guys did not watch any films.
We
Have you
saw
been
so
tracking our
many
letterbox?
movies.
I am paying attention to your letterboxd. Saw that you, Carrie, really loved Crazy Rich Asians, and that you, Rob, are a racist against Asian people.
I'm a middle of the road against Asians.
Okay.
If you really looked at my box off or my letterbox.
He has other races he likes.
Yes.
Like
So
least
Tim,
than that.
of the movies you've seen, I know you've seen a little bit more recently than we have. So what's in theaters that you want us to know about?
I'll just talk about this real quickly. It's a new movie opened this past weekend. People might be interested in hearing about it. It is The Nun, a film directed by Corin Hardy, the 5th film in the Conjuring verse, which feels like a word that doesn't actually exist and cannot be said out loud. But so this is... In 2013, we had The Conjuring. In 2015, I think, we had Annabelle, or 2014 was Annabelle. Then 2016 was The Conjuring 2, which introduces the character of a mysterious demonic nun. And so the nun goes back like 20 years earlier than The Conjuring 2 to ask the question, where did the nun come from? So this is a film that has gotten pretty well savaged by the critics, doing extremely well at the box office, though it's actually had the highest opening weekend of any
Savage
of the
is not
films.
a good thing, right?
It is a bad thing.
Bad thing,
It's
okay.
28% on Rotten Tomatoes, or at least it was the last time I checked. I liked it.
But you gave it like 1.5 stars.
No, I gave it 3 stars.
Oh, you did?
I thought this was a fun, hokey, haunted house movie. And I want to stress that word hokey. It's a dumb story. The characters don't make a whole lot of sense. And of course, the entire idea that we need to like explain the backstory of all the weird demons that show up in The Conjuring is a very ill-advised idea. In this particular case, I think Corin Hardy had the right way to approach it, which was basically to make it like a really amped up version of like the kind of movie that seems really super spooky when you're like 6, and like it has, you know, cemeteries and gravestones and like lightning flashes that illuminate old rickety castles and shit. I mean, I ate that up like anybody's business when I was a kid. And this is like that for adults.
Scary level?
No, it's not scary at all.
No, okay.
It's super not scary. Well, that's the problem with the Conjuring films. They all have the exact same scares. So once you've seen 4 of them,
you know it's coming.
You know exactly what's coming and when and how. And that's even kind of fun too. It's like, oh, I know what's coming next. The nun's going to be there. There's the nun. It's. I found it satisfying. I liked it. It makes no sense in a way that I think is really cool. Like it's just kind of like throwing shit at you. Really good haunted house movie.
Where do you see it?
In the theaters. Where do people see it?
Oh.
You can wait for TV. If you got a big TV. I mean, it is a thing you don't want to see in an overlit room. So I don't want to say watch it in your living room in the middle of the afternoon because you'll lose a lot. But I don't think you need to see it in theaters.
Okay.
I've been off the Conjuring one. Not because it wasn't good. I enjoyed the first 2.
Yeah.
I think.
I
And
think
then
I
for some
remember
reason
those.
I just forgot about them.
There haven't been a lot of good scary ones that have been out lately either.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Lately?
We'll see if one makes Tim's list.
Yeah.
He had one at the top of
We'll
his.
quit while we're
anticipated.
ahead and get started.
Well, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Quit while we're ahead.
Well, good. And Tim, you have a review.
See?
You have that was good.
I have reviewed The Nun. It is on our website.
It is on the site. Before we head to our break, let's do a little box office recap.
Box office recap.
Let's just
summer
skip
box
her.
office
We
recap.
don't
I
need
want to
to
be
do that.
clear. But overall, the box office itself has been
a solid
doing
summer.
well.
It's been a real solid summer for box office. We are about to hit a almost certain month-over-month decline because last September was boosted by It, which set the most ludicrous records imaginable. But September is going to be solid too, I would say. So it's been a good. Things are doing well at the box office.
I had some things written down, and I guess I've lost them. But I think it's the summer unadjusted for inflation. It was like the number 13 best summer, which doesn't sound
Unadjusted for inflation.
And if you take out,
that's not. I thought it was better than that.
But if you
July
take out,
didn't do well.
But you got to take out Avengers. You got to take out Avengers from that. And if you take out Avengers from it, you had a lot of highs in the box office. Let's actually go through what we predicted to do well at the start of this. At the start of the summer, we had predicted.
I'm embarrassed now that I've seen these movies.
Absolutely should be. I don't know what the shit was going on in your head when you said that about Solo.
I don't either now.
So
That was a
I
mistake.
had Tim and I both had Jurassic Park: Fallen Kingdom. Both also put half a billion as the number one. Again, no Avengers in this. And Carrie did put Solo, a Star Wars story, coming in at
730
To be
700
fair,
million, yeah.
Rob,
That
you
seems high.
devised the numbers based on whatever random gobbledygook she was saying on the
Yes.
air, so the number is kind of your fault.
That's true.
I
Because I
agree.
think originally
Mine
said
were
like
actually
1
much
billion.
higher. I did think
And-
it was going to take in $1 billion, but that seems high in hindsight.
I would like to point out it did not make $500 million in the entire world,
I know.
let alone
I will do better next year.
Let's
you
talk
cannot
about
possibly do worse.
Let's talk about Solo for just a second. Of the surprises, because I think there are quite a few surprises, and maybe we'll get to a few more. But Solo was certainly one of the surprises.
It is to me the surprise. Is the
the
story?
surprise?
I think it is the box office story.
How much
Okay.
did that one get?
It's so not much money.
214 million. So barely. It ended up, if you take out Avengers again from the summer, which I don't think even Box Office Mojo is counting that as a summer movie.
It's not a summer movie. It
It's
came out in April.
ended up at number. I have it as number 5 for the summer.
And it will not remain there.
Yeah, that's true. Fallout was catching up, and I was hoping it would catch up.
The story. So we'll get back to Solo. I will say, in terms of figuring out who won our prediction race, it was really tough to do because it's going to be a photo finish between Ant-Man and Mission Impossible.
Wait, so we're not calling it right now?
We're going to call it for other reasons.
Okay.
Because Tim wins if you call it right now.
No, I'm calling it for Rob. Basically, what happened? You nailed Mission Impossible. I think you said 215.
I did. I said 200.
200.
Okay, it's going to be around 220. I way over predicted Ant-Man. So even if Ant-Man nudges ahead of Fallout by like $500,000, you still clearly had stronger predictions. Of course, everybody was fucked by Solo. All three of us, all the people who entered our contest were seriously screwed up by like no one. I mean, even if you expected Solo to not do super well, I thought the absolute no way it could possibly do less than number was what Star Wars 2 Attack of the Clones made in 2002, and it did $100 million less than that.
I think the other surprise for me, at least, is I feel like there are a couple surprises. At number 2, I had Incredibles. Carrie had Jurassic Park, which ended up...
How did that one do?
Ended up at number 2, so you called that one spot on. And Tim had Solo, the aforementioned Solo. I thought Incredibles... I'm good prognosticating on my part, putting it at number 2, but I even putting it as high as that, I only had it at 400 million. It brought in over 600 million.
Wow.
Close to about 605.
Number one. That's the number one summer box office.
So good.
Really.
Okay.
So that's I feel like that's pretty impressive. Next, I had Solo. Carrie, you had Incredibles 2, and then Tim had Incredibles 2. No surprises there. And then all of us had Deadpool 2 at number 4.
Where did that one land?
I will say this. I had the single most accurate prediction of any of us with my Deadpool number. It landed at about... I
have it as 318. You predicted 330.
Yeah, and it landed at about like 325, I think.
Okay. Very impressive. I will say this, the top 5 are usually pretty easy to predict. What's interesting to me about the box office is what's happening now in this late push that Crazy Rich Asians is making.
Crazy Rich Asians is the other great box office story. Like Solo is the great negative story. Crazy Rich Asians is the great positive story. Because that movie is going to hit $200 million, and it's a romantic comedy, and it's an August release. Amazing, amazing stuff. Basically spent 3 straight weeks at the box office without dropping, which is just a miracle.
Yeah, I think it's trending. I think it's one of those movies that people are talking about, people are excited about, and eager about, and
it's
so people
hit the
are
Titanic stage of being like the movie you see because
it's on
everyone else is
autopilot
seeing
now
it.
for marketing. Like that, people will just go see it because of word of mouth.
And I feel every year there's this unsung movie where it just hits at the right time, and this is that because when you really look at it, underrepresented in the summer movies was a good romantic comedy. You didn't really have anything filling, and when a movie fills a void, particularly in the summertime, it's rewarded.
Yep.
And there's always one or two like that. I feel like every summer
the other movie that did that this summer, which I mean, super impressive box office story in its own right, got swamped by Crazy Rich Asians. Book Club.
Yeah.
Book Club did really, really well.
Yeah.
For the size it was, for the release it did.
Yeah.
We also had a contest going on for our audience, like we always do. We always try to reward our audience members in thanks to listening, and just because it makes it a little bit more fun. Our box office winner played the same, sent in their picks as well, and played against everybody, was CRD.
Yeah, and congratulations, CRD. I do want to say, as I said, everyone who entered got fucked by Solo, just like we all got fucked by Solo.
And not the good one either.
No,
you know?
the bad kind of fucked.
Yeah.
The kind where he like leaves and you're in this
No, I
sweaty
meant
patch.
the good Solo.
Oh.
Never mind.
Okay.
Like Harrison Ford. No.
I feel really weird about where I took that.
I do too. So CRD.
So it was kind of
good
a
job.
like who did the best damage control elsewhere, and this was
That's right.
So what were his picks?
Jurassic Park, The Incredibles, Solo, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Deadpool, and we also had a tiebreaker of Avengers. I feel he probably came pretty
more or less
400
nailed it.
Yeah,
that was really what did it for him.
After opening weekend, like how much would they make between that and when the contest closed? So CRD, send us an email at contact@alternateending.com to hear about how to claim your movie prize, which will be his pick of whatever Blu-ray of.
I don't remember. Was it
that
going to be?
It was going to be the box office.
It was going to be the box. Was it the Blu-ray?
Originally, was the box
Incredibles
office
2,
right? Which he may still choose. I think we were afraid it would be Jurassic Park,
World,
Jurassic World, and we were like, that's not really a
cruel.
gift. That's cruel and unusual to be sending that because no one may want that. If that's what you want, CRD. But you get your pick of any of the summer movies on Blu-ray. So feel free to just let us know which one.
Doesn't have to be out now. If you need to have us send it to you in a couple months, that's cool.
You'd like the full Mission Impossible box set?
Nope.
On Blu-ray.
Nope.
Well, very good. And before we head to our break, you might be wondering about ways to support the show as well. Get early access to exclusive content, make us watch a movie, pick your own episode topic, and more from our Patreon site. More recently, we just shared a preview of what podcast episodes to expect in September for our Patreons. Just a taste of things that we put up on there. Joining our growing list of Patreons since the last episode, Paul Solpis, Fedor Lechev, joined our writers workshop along with Nicholas Leach. So thank you for joining. Those three are fast at work right now crafting some content that will be available on the site.
I know
Hopefully sometime in October.
I've been reading what their ideas are, and I feel overwhelmed. They're very
They are definitely
very
not catering
educated.
to the casual audience.
we have very educated
It's exciting.
readers.
I love it because one of them was like, "This is my version that doesn't sound like a grad student dissertation." I'm like, "This sounds like a grad student dissertation."
Carrie's red lines will be, "I do not understand."
Not
that will be her
comprehending,
feedback
not
when
computing.
yes, I don't know what you mean.
but still impressed.
We also had some anniversaries. Travis Neely, on his anniversary, decided to up his pledge. So now he is
you,
now
Travis.
an Oscar reward winner, entitling
Holy
him to
moly.
everything our Patreons our Patreon rewards have to offer. So appreciate that, Travis. Also celebrating their anniversaries, Gabe, Cher Evans, Andrew Milne, Andrew Johnson, John Taylor, Nathan Morrow. So yeah, quite a few audience
you.
members here.
Thank you all.
Also, because of all that patronage that we're receiving, we're closing in on our video essay goal. So as many of you might have seen on social media, we cleaned up our junk room here in the basement. Very privileged to have a room that's just full of junk. We turned into a little video room that Tim has now just walked through and seen for the first time.
Offered some very scathing criticisms about the shoddiness of the setup.
Apparently you need to iron a green screen. I didn't I didn't know that's
you
a
need
thing.
to not iron a green screen.
So the real trick
you
here is
also
going
need
to
to
be
not point the light directly in the eyes of the person who is sitting in the chair, which is currently what you have set
the real
up.
problem we're going to face, though, is Rob probably doesn't actually know where the iron is. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So-
is it sexist if I tell Carrie that she's required to iron the?
If you say required, it
yes,
is.
Yeah, no, that is.
Well,
yeah,
it's
and
part
you know
of
I
the
don't actually
contract of our
listen when you say
relationship,
anything,
so-
but I'll find it for you. Actually, don't use it either. Look at Rob's shirt.
Have I ever? Yeah, I've had to teach so many people how to use an iron, and it's been really weird in my
It's
life.
just
'cause,
time
like,
consuming.
It's soothing.
But yes, tell us more about the green room.
Nope, that's it. We're
Okay.
excited. We're anticipating that we're going to be able to meet that goal at some point. So we're starting to make the investments thanks to everybody's help and support of the show. Another way to support the show, Amazon. I want to thank all of our listeners who make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing it is easy. Just go to our website, alternateending.com, click on the Amazon banner, and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. In fact, we appreciate your Amazon purchase so much. We were overwhelmed by how many we had. We have to split the list because we've been gone for 4 weeks into 2. Otherwise, the whole episode would be us just doing a read of Amazon purchases.
Alrighty.
So
Throw them at us.
Start with the porn.
Yeah.
porn first.
Or at least
Sort by porn.
Start with the things I can make sound like porn.
Okay.
That's all of them.
How about a Disney Mickey Mouse emoji head?
I can tell you what I would do with some emoji head right now.
I appreciate that purchase. How about some Shea Moisture African Black Soap with shea butter?
Oh yeah, you guys
Careful.
can,
Tread lightly, Tim.
I mean, the only reason I'm not already making jokes is because I feel like a lot of them might end up being racist by accident. So I'm just going to
just leave
stay
that one
down
be.
by that one.
Yeah, but it was Tim's purchase.
A book purchase as well, Death on the 4th of July, the story of a killing, a trial, and hate crime in America. That sounds like a joyful read.
Sounds
Yeah,
real.
let us know
Sounds
how
like
that
a good
one is.
beach read.
Yeah.
Upbeat.
It's got 4th of July right in the title, man.
Some clothing purchase, a men's Shane Dawson, oh my God, pig t-shirt. Size small, black.
Okay.
Was that "oh my God" in the description, or was that you saying "oh my God"?
No, it says oh my God. So I'm assuming it's a
pig
thing.
saying "oh my God."
Possibly.
Yeah.
Alice, our youngest, loves pigs.
Yeah,
piggies.
she does.
Also some clothing, a women's vintage 1950s retro rockabilly prom dress. Sounds sweet.
I want, that's, yes.
I think I know who
Pictures,
purchased that.
that sounds fun.
Amazon Basic, tension curtain rod. I like the Amazon Basics. It's quality stuff. In fact, our tripod tin that we picked up is an Amazon Basic tripod.
I don't buy anything from Amazon anymore because I don't approve their labor practices. So
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Is that a thing?
Is it a real thing?
That's a thing.
Tell us about it later so that
All
we
right,
know
now I feel
what we're doing
guilty.
wrong.
All of my purchases have been Amazon.
You said they have good returns, though.
Yeah, good returns.
So you're going to
Also.
make the labor people work twice as hard.
And we make money on it, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So I see. Got it.
It's a Kindle ebook, On Your Mark, Get Set, Grow, What's Happening to My Body book for younger boys. That's important.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tim.
You're a son of a bitch, and I hate you a lot.
Also, Tim's
Oh my God.
purchase. Paired
Let's
nicely
see.
with that
Where
shea
to
butter.
go from here?
I got that, man. You got a point on me. You don't ordinarily get points on me, but I'm enough of a grown up to say when you did.
Also had a Swiss Mar Nuance penguin picture in black. Some music album called Sticky Fingers.
It's the Stones album,
Oh, you're good, man.
and the Stones very much meant for it to be a reference to fluids on your hand. after
Okay,
the act.
and we're back to the
back.
naughtiness.
No, I mean the Stones meant it that
Yeah.
way, so it's the Stones' fault, not mine.
Yep.
Back to your children's
Tim's
book.
just stating facts. Smartwool men's hiking medium crew sock. So yeah, it's hiking season in the fall. It's nice
Yeah.
to get out there, get some fresh air. Tools and hardware, mineral clear faucet replacement water filter, the 3-pack, appreciate that. A Samsung CBF Signal. I don't know what that is.
No.
And then now to our movies. Amazon Instant Video had The Haunting of Julia.
Never heard of it.
Never heard
No?
of it?
Poor Julia, though.
Count Dracula and his Vampire Bride. It's part of the Satanic Rites of Dracula, 1974.
Oh, well, Satanic Rites of Dracula is a Hammer film. I haven't really heard of the other one, though.
Village of the Damned.
A couple films by that title.
Sure.
Oh, looks like a Halloween run here is
Yeah.
what we got
Sounds
going
like
on.
it.
Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
Oh, so it's the John Carpenter Damned because he did that movie, and it's not.
Is that the Chevy Chase movie?
That's the Chevy Chase movie.
John Carpenter did the Chevy Chase
John
memoirs?
Carpenter did, yeah.
No
right.
way.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
My hand to God.
Okay, I actually kind of like that movie.
You would.
And we had Mother Purchase, which we still have not cut up
Oh,
with
yeah.
Care.
Jennifer Lawrence
I'm-
looking off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Although it's not Mother with an exclamation point, so it might not be that
There are
Mother.
so many films called Mother.
Okay, so it may not be that. On DVD we had, or on Blu-ray rather, excuse me, Someone's Watching Me with an exclamation point.
That's a John Carpenter. Someone went to town.
someone's
I
doing-
love
yeah.
it. Crimes of Passion,
That is a Ken Russell film that has been reviewed on our site.
Five Dolls of August Moon,
That is, I think, a Mario Bava film.
The Haunting, something I know.
I've seen that one.
Yes.
Is that the Robert Wise or is that
Does
the
not.
Yeah. Old or
Jan de
new?
Bont?
Does not have a date, and I'm
Well,
assuming.
I hope it
it's
was the
not
Robert Wise.
Yeah.
The newer one.
In the mouth
Older.
of.
I know.
In the Mouth of Madness.
John Carpenter.
Man, Rabbit.
I think it's a Cronenberg.
Ooh, Phantasm, the remaster.
Oh, I
Remaster,
love that movie
I
so
don't know
much.
if it's-
Love that movie.
Zama. Little
Zama.
Zama. Oh,
Oh, I talked about that.
Yeah,
I
you
talked that up
about
real
this
heavy.
one. Yeah.
What if they went and saw it because you talked about
Well,
it?
then that's a
That
good thing
would
that I
be
did.
all coming first up with, like, it's all coming together.
Wreck-It Ralph. Maybe getting ready for Ralph
Seen
Rex
it.
the
I think I've talked
internet.
about that. People
You've
are coming to
talked
see it because I talked about it.
101
You
Dalmatians.
are the only reason people have heard about this very small indie film.
I know.
Too.
I know.
The 2-disc diamond edition of 101 Dalmatians.
Okay.
We did talk about that recently as well. The Land Before Time on Blu-ray. So yeah, appreciate all of your purchases. When we get back, our top 5 summer movies of 2018. And welcome back to Alternating. We're talking about our top 5 summer movies of 2018. Care, we already walked through how from a box office perspective, how the movie
Yeah.
season
Didn't
went.
fare well as well there.
Yeah, but prediction-wise, you feel pretty good. I'm looking at your list
Yeah.
now.
Feeling pretty good, right?
Looks pretty laughable to me. In
What
fact.
do you mean?
Why don't you walk us through your
yeah.
list? What did you predict would be your favorite movies of the summer?
So I'll just run quickly through my top 5. So I had at number 5 A Kid Like Jake, which you guys all ripped on me for being insensitive to people in the world, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that one didn't fare well. Then I had at number 4 Hearts Beat Loud. I had Life of the Party. It was a bit of a wild card, as it were, and so that I had at number 3. And then I had Ocean's 8, had a lot of potential. And then the piece de resistance.
Well, we don't know yet. We'll find out.
No, I'm telling you what my picks for
Sure.
were. My number 1 was Won't You Be My Neighbor? Won't you?
All right. Let's see how your list
Please.
held up.
Yeah. So here we go. Here for my number 5.
So we're going to jump into our...
Wait, do I go to my number 5? Or is Tim going to remind
I
of
thought
his
we were
number
going to sort
5?
of... I mean, we don't have to.
No, it's up to you.
Okay.
Do you want me to go to my number 5 now, and then you'll do your number 5?
No, I thought we were someplace
You
else.
just do your number 5.
So my number 5.
See, you know what would have solved this, Tim? Some planning.
Well, you said something on the break, and it sounded like gibberish, and I had no idea what you were going on about.
Tim was like, let's fly by the seat of a pants.
Well, no, I
Here
literally
we
could
are.
not parse the sentences Rob was saying.
They weren't actually complete ones. So why don't you go through your number 5?
So my 5, I initially had Under the Silver Lake, which didn't get released.
You replaced that,
I
though.
replaced it with Black Klansman, or Black Klansman. My number 4 was Mission Impossible Fallout. My number 3 was Sorry to Bother You. My number 2 was also Ocean's 8. And my number 1 was Hereditary,
Right.
the horror movie.
The wild card as well.
It was not very wild for me. I
Less wild.
like it.
What was your number 5?
At number 5, I also had to do a swap. I can't even remember what I swapped out, but it was a Jeremy Saulnier movie that was on Netflix.
Which is coming out very soon.
So-
it's first week in October, I believe.
Spoiler, but
Spoiler.
get ready to see it on my fall list.
All
It's
right.
going to be there. I don't care what else is coming out this
But you
fall.
don't remember the name.
Who cares?
Hold
It's
the
Jeremy
Dark.
Saulnier.
Hold the Dark.
Oh, yeah, Darkness. Yeah, Hold the
Hold the
Dark.
Dark.
'cause I
Okay.
remember there was
So what'd you
dark.
have at number 5?
Number 5, I swapped in Ocean's 8. Then I had Sicario Day of the Soldado. And then I had...
I'm sorry, you mumbled there like you were embarrassed about what you were just saying.
no, just had something in the throat.
Was it Sicario 2?
It was
on
Sicario
your
2.
list.
It was
I
on
see.
my list at number 4. Then Deadpool
That's worse
2.
than A Kid Like Jake, man.
Totally. Anyway.
I don't know.
Go on.
you had
Carry on.
Deadpool, Mission Impossible, and then Incredibles 2, rounding out my 5 at number 1. So, Care.
All right.
Let's see how you fared.
Here's how I fared. I'm going to go with a movie that I loved at number 5, and Tim actually mentioned it earlier and his love for it as well. It's the May release of the movie Book Club.
All right.
Wow, cracked your top 5.
Really liked this one. This was a Bill Holderman written, directed one. This is like lumped together a large chunk of my favorite over 55s, all actors and actresses together into one giant glob. And I just loved it.
I mean, it's a giant glob. What's not to love?
I know. All I can think about is Candice Bergen and the bald guy
Who did she...
with
was
the
it,
voice.
Was it Wally Shawn?
No.
The other one.
The guy who's
The one she had sex
Indubious.
with in the car? Yeah,
No.
that's Wally Shawn.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I've never even heard that name in my whole life.
You heard it when we were talking about book club
Oh, right.
in this podcast.
That's true. But I rarely listen here. And so I loved this one. It was sweet. It was fun. I saw it with my mom. I will always remember it, and I would totally see it again.
I would rather cut off my fingers than see this movie with my mom.
Oh,
for the
yeah.
record.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But
Do you feel like it increased value for you because you saw it with your mom? Like, had
Probably.
you seen it by yourself, maybe not as high?
probably.
Okay.
But I think that's still okay.
That's okay. No, that's perfectly fine.
experiential. It was good. I would recommend seeing it with either a girlfriend or friend that's like a girl, or your mom, like a girly friend, you know?
I feel like does every generation, I guess it'd be generation. I mean, your best actors and actresses. Well, maybe this is unique because usually
Keaton?
Yeah,
Use your words, Rob.
I know. Using my words. I'm just very excited to talk about this. Is as I think about it is, movies that fit this type of audience, this plus 55 plus audience, like they didn't really exist before. Like it's more of a new thing.
Well, that's
where
it's actually
it's
the
catered.
opposite of a new thing, because there used to be movies like several a year would come out that crowd wanted to see. And it's really only been since the 80s that that's gone away.
Oh, okay. So it went away right when I started watching movies, which is why for me it is a new.
For you, it is a new thing.
It is a new thing.
Everything old is new again.
But you get these great actors and actresses,
Mary
and they have more opportunities to portray characters and real life situations.
You did not say Jane
Jane
Fonda.
Fonda.
Alicia Silverstone.
She's not in there.
Sure.
Oh yeah, she's the daughter. Right.
She is the person who
Wait,
everyone
I'm going to
thinks
do
is
this on the fly.
17.
Katie Asselton.
Nice. I do like.
Yeah.
I do like Kate
and then
Asselton.
Coach is in this
Coach
too.
is in it.
Yep.
So good. Anyone's list.
No.
Yours.
I have not
All
seen
right.
it. So it might make my regrets.
You should have come with Mom and I.
Yeah.
So good. So that's my number 5. Love it. See it. Not in theater.
See, it's the phrase "should have come with Mom and I" in relationship to book club that is the reason I would not have seen this movie with my mom.
You're taking it down a path. You're taking it down a path.
I'm taking it real far down.
I know you are. You've been pent up over the last 4 weeks.
It's so tough. I talk to undergraduates now. I can't say these things in front of them.
That's true.
I'm very excited, Tim, to hear your list because I feel like Carrie and I are somewhat predictable. I have no clue. Maybe if I would have peeked at your letterbox, but I have no clue on.
Or if you'd read the reviews on your own damned website.
Yeah, I try not to because
No.
I want this moment.
Because they're so long.
This moment right here to be very authentic. When I hear
my
people's
number
stuff.
5 is a film that was absolutely nowhere on my radar at the start of the summer. I saw the trailer for it I think the end of June for the first time. I was like, that looks really cool. And it was really, really cool. The movie is Blind Spotting.
Damn it.
Is that on your list? Oh,
No,
you have
but it's
missed
a
it.
big regret.
Yeah, so this is a movie, really, really terrific film. It's one of the 2 major releases this summer about racism in Oakland, California, where 2 friends, one white, one black, they're stuck in a position where they have to navigate the fact that the white friend is kind of a complete dumbass who doesn't realize how much he's getting away with because the cops aren't inclined to look at him suspiciously, basically. So he's like flailing a gun all around. His friend, who's African-American, just got out of prison a year ago, still on probation, can't be around a dumbass white guy waving a gun around. And that's kind of the animating tension of their relationship. Really, really gorgeous looking movie. Like it has some terrific, terrific cinematography of Oakland at night. Really funny movie. Like it's written by the 2 stars whose names I don't have in front of me, unfortunately. But they were real life. They've been friends forever. They grew up together in Oakland. And the movie is just suffused with this like buddiness, but it's not like a buddy movie. It's weird. Like it's doing so much more than that, but it like has that as its spine, like this sort of really tight relationship between these 2 guys. Really fun film, really smart film that has, I think, some very clever things to say about the state of race relations in America that aren't necessarily the obvious things to say. And they don't overwhelm the movie. Like it's still a pleasurable movie to watch, sort of in despite of the fact that it has a lesson for us to learn.
I'll put a pin in a question that I'm going to ask later because I don't want to ruin the rest of your list, but I'm curious there's obviously been multiple summer releases that sort of fall into, exactly. So I'm going to be curious to see how this one stands up to the other 2. So we'll get there.
I've seen the other 2.
I have
and
2.
This is the one that I think I would have possibly enjoyed the most. It's on my regrets for sure. So
what's your number 5 then, Rob?
not regretting having this one on my list. Tim's gonna have some problems with it, which is okay because to each their own. I really enjoyed and was moved by a little movie featuring Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
Unexpectedly was moved. Went in thinking like, what the hell? Looking at the trailers, I passed over this. I thought it was going to be adult centric, which it really ended up being. But our kids ended up enjoying it too. But it hit me at the right time. I really identified with Ewan McGregor, who plays a now older Christopher Robin, who's just forgotten about his childhood and needs to get back in touch with it. Has a kid of his own. Has a wife, Haley Atwell, who's not given nothing to do.
Nothing.
Which
She's given to do.
Does not pass the what test?
Actually, I think it does pass the Bechdel test.
Bechdel test.
It just doesn't pass the agency or interiority test.
Right. So all that notwithstanding.
Wait, what is the title of this piece?
Oh, sorry, did I not say? It's Christopher Robin.
All right.
Yeah. Disney's Christopher Robin.
They want to make sure you understand that part.
Surprisingly, high marks on IMDb, 7.7 on IMDb and 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, I don't think I'm off in enjoying this movie. It ended up at number 13 at the summer box office, bringing in $92 million. So it did well enough. Probably not enough to cover, maybe
less than they expected it to, I suspect.
Yeah, but for a movie that was marketed really poorly, because I didn't know what to expect going in, even if I did, I don't think I knew I would have enjoyed it as much as it being on my list at number 5.
It's funny, I just went in today and was going through my list and like looking at my letterbox for the summer, and I was like, ooh, I put for Christopher Robin at 4. I'm gonna have to edit that. So I went back and I was like 3.5.
I made some edits.
I enjoyed
as well.
it, but it wasn't like. I think I also enjoyed the theater experience. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like fantastic, or whatever. I enjoyed it though. I thought it was good.
It's just I'm going through a lot of life challenges like this too. Is like finding good work-life balance. So for me, I think it's just really
hit home.
It hit home at the right time. I will I remember this movie even a year from now? Maybe not, but it was hard finding a number 5 for me.
Okay.
To be honest.
That's actually, we should talk about that when we're done. Like, how good was the summer writ
Yeah.
large? It sounds like Rob did not think it was so good, but yeah.
So this one I actually thought would make Rob's list, and maybe it does, but all of you have seen this one, so I'll be curious if it does. This one came out on June 8th, and it was one of my anticipated movies for the summer.
I remember Rob being cooler on this than I thought was even remotely possible. I was really super
Again, this was
disappointed.
Rob is This Man.
Rob is This Man.
Also.
It is Rob in the Rob story.
Rob is Nick Offerman in Hearts Beat Loud at number 4.
It was vying for my 5 spot.
Really
I ended up with
enjoyed
Christopher
this.
Robin.
This was Brett Haley, written and directed by. This was Nick Offerman, who I just really, really like, who you guys all know from Parks and Rec, the mustache man.
Yes.
Kiersey Clemens is in this. I think that's his daughter. Ted Danson, Toni Collette's in this, who I've really, really come to love over the last couple
Toni
of years.
Collette's great.
Yeah.
Not
She's
necessarily
fantastic.
in this movie, which does not do well by its supporting cast, but yes, Toni Collette is
in general,
life great.
in life. And she did some other things this summer, so we might
did.
hear about her later. So this is just a sweet little indie flick. It's the two stories intertwined of Frank and his daughter, Sam, who are navigating the changes in their life. And then Kiersey Clemens, his daughter, is also navigating her own life and figuring herself out before she goes off to college. I thought it was so heartwarming and sweet and fun. And yeah, I would recommend it to anybody.
No, it's a good
Now,
movie.
I want to raise a question. So you say, Rob, the reason Winnie, like sort of what pushed Christopher Robin over the hump for you was that it hit hard for where you are in your life. Hearts Beat Loud is your literal, actual memoirs. Is the reason that didn't have enough connection to your own life was because you didn't want to give your wife credit for a film on your top 5?
And I'll be curious.
Distinct
It's
possibility.
been interesting that and my next pick will actually undo this argument, but I think recency has a lot to do with it. I know that is for the Oscars as well too, which is why there's always like a late, all your late
That's why
movies.
some of us work on our lists in real time to try and prevent that curse from striking us.
I
down.
had trouble when I went back. I remember enjoying Hearts Beat Loud, but I don't remember a whole lot other than it's not the songs I don't sing over in my head like many other type of musical type movies like that. So it just didn't stick with me as much for some reason. It is up there. It is in my top 10 for the summer because, like I said, I think I was wavering between this and Christopher Robin. At number
But didn't
5.
make your list either, Tim?
It did not.
All right. Well, then we'll go to your number 4, which I think is on my list.
I think it's on everybody's list, and I think, Rob, it's your number 1.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I
it
apologize
is.
for taking your number 1.
And it's my number 2.
Okay.
Incredibles 2.
It is
Yeah.
not my number 1. It is my number 2.
It's
All
my
right.
number 2 as well.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
This movie was an enormous surprise to me. I hear Pixar sequel. I immediately get defensive. Turned out to be better than the original, frankly.
I agree.
It's more funny. It's got more interesting plot developments. It's really incredibly beautiful. Has terrific action sequences where director Brad Bird is sort of using everything he's learned about animation over the course of his very wonderful career to just play with space, play with physics, and be like, well, what would it be like if Elastigirl really could stretch? How would she deal with an action set piece? My favorite superhero movie of the decade.
Of the decade.
Of the decade.
What's number 2?
Something worse than this.
That's putting him on the spot.
Sorry.
I will say, I'm noticing that movie was on somebody's list, most anticipated list.
It was.
Yeah, and it was mine.
It was yours.
So,
we're going to
you're
talk
welcome.
about like how people's most anticipated list shook out.
Number 4, I'd be.
Well, so do
Okay.
and then I just took your number
sorry.
2s. Do neither of you have anything to say about it?
You both,
You're saying it because it was my number 4.
No. You both have said that it's better than the first one. I can't bring myself to say it.
I liked
know.
everything about this movie.
I enjoyed it.
You were
I mean,
less up on the
obviously.
villain in this,
I was not super into the villain.
but I was fine with it. And I just liked the storyline. I loved the fact that the dad was a stay-at-home dad. I liked that whole plot line, and that storyline was fantastic.
For me,
the
everything
jokes.
about this movie is Jack.
Oh, yeah, Jack
the
was
raccoon
good.
scene's
the
my favorite part of
raccoon.
the movie.
Yeah.
And it speaks for itself. Number one at the box office, so people loved it. 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Because as we know, only good movies make money at the box office.
Can you still see this in theaters? Anywhere?
You can certainly still see it in Madison.
Okay. So if you haven't gone out there, this is one totally, though, worth to see it in theaters.
The winner of the Oscar for Best Animated Feature.
Yes.
Yeah, by
unquestionably.
Had they kept a most popular category, which apparently they've retracted.
They've decided was a bad idea. Because
they got your note. Like?
They got your
thing that I didn't like.
Did you send a note?
Everyone complained in the world except for Rob.
You should have sent a note in. You should have said you sent a note in.
I sent a note in. I sat down with the president of the Academy and I was like, hey, gotta
like, we hear
what
you,
is this
Tim.
about?
Yeah.
Listeners, Salvador, Jeremy Carrier, and Victor also had Incredibles 2 on their top movies of the summer.
Cool. Good pick.
That was a good pick. At number 4 for me, this is one I think will be on Carrie's list.
Yeah.
It also displaces that argument again that I had about recency, because I think this came out the first week of May, maybe.
Okay.
Talking about Tully, little Jason Reitman movie.
See, I had that on my spring movies, so I couldn't include
May
that.
4th.
But it's a summer release.
But I already used it. I used it on my spring.
She called it she had on her spring.
But it still was a summer movie.
But I had different date parameters, and I love Tully so very
yours,
much.
like based on some sort of weird Kabbalistic.
It was based on.
So
let
me ask. Looking at your list, would Tully crack the top 5?
Yeah.
Okay, it would have.
Yeah,
okay.
Tully would have taken out. Well, yeah, Tully would have taken out Book Club. They're very different. Oh, they're so different. But I love Tully. Oh, I love Tully so much.
Directed by Jason Ryan, starring Charlize Theron as a mother of 3 who hires a night nanny to help with her newborn. Again, anything coming of age. There's a theme here with Hearts Beat Loud for me, with Christopher Robin, with Tully.
You were mad at the dad in this one.
Not coming of age, but like finding yourself like people in their life event situation, especially parents, like
right where you're at.
You can't help but have that impact you when you're viewing, if you're living in similar or you can recognize those kind of situations. I mean, movies are, as Roger Ebert had said, like empathy for, I don't know what he said. Something about empathy.
See, I actually like movies more when they don't remind me of myself, just because like they are empathy machines. And so like I mean, for me, a movie like Blind Spotting, which speaks to no experience I've ever had, but really made me feel what that experience would be like. So I guess I'm better than you.
That's true.
What you're saying is,
I'm saying I like black people, and you only like movies about people exactly the same as you.
That's right.
So despite having seen this movie in Miami and paying $50 a ticket or something,
dear Jesus,
crazy
it's $50 total.
$50 total.
I had like a small aneurysm.
This movie did 4 at the box office, brought in $9 million. That's it.
Because everyone saw it was $50 a ticket and was like, I'll wait for DVD.
Yeah, right.
But I got to give it to Charlize Theron too. Is a great acting performance. Some funny moments.
So
Again,
good.
if you're a parent, you can. Even if you're not a parent, I think there are moments where you can.
I think it's
literally laugh out loud.
wonderful if you're a parent, because there's not one single scene that you can't empathize with. Even if you're one of those fake moms that like pretends to have it all together.
Oh, totally.
You empathize with this.
Looking
situation.
back, I gave it a 5-star boost because Christopher Robin was ahead of it, and I was like, that doesn't feel right at all. That doesn't feel right at all. So.
Yeah, you were all mad at the dad because you said he was lazy. And
Ron Livingston is a lazy person.
I think the dad hit a little too close to home.
Yeah, right. I was like,
it forced
there's
Rob to
the
confront
empathy.
things
There's the empathy.
that he was unprepared to confront.
Exactly. The mom that does it all. Good pick.
Thank
I
you.
wish I was debating about whether or not I could include it, and I didn't think I could.
Totally was.
So
But that's why we got to talk about book club.
Yeah,
that's true. That's
I got
true.
to make jokes about Carrie and her mom masturbating.
That's right. Only a joke that you could devise. And
I have a skill set, and I'm not afraid to use it.
So yeah, what were we talking about? My number 3 movie is on somebody around here's list because I loved this movie. There is a recency factor, but I don't think that'll go away because I plan to see it again and again and again. It's August 15th's release of Crazy Rich Asians. Is it on your list?
No, but I knew it would be on yours.
Did you?
I saw that star rating.
You knew I would love it?
I saw your star rating.
Did you think I would love it without seeing my star rating?
I'm not sure how you feel about rom-coms, so I wouldn't have actually been willing to predict.
Oh, no. I like them.
Okay.
No, I definitely do. It's on your list?
No, you remember my star rating.
I don't look at, I only
3.
go to Letterboxd of
3
people
stars.
that aren't you guys. Mm-hmm. What did you give it? 3?
3 stars.
3.
Yeah. It was fine.
So good, and I'll tell you why. So this is Dave, not
John Chu directed?
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. John Chu. Both wrote and directed.
I'm sorry, Dave whom?
I was saying Devoom. It was just a French word. Did he write and direct, right?
Nope,
He-
it's
he-
based on a series.
Sure.
Yeah, he
Wrote a book. There was an
directed-
author that wrote a book.
Maybe the author's name was the writer's name was Dave something.
Dave.
I do not have that handy. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, in my mind.
So you think about that. You guys should know this stuff. You guys are a little rusty after not being here for a month. But anywho, so let me tell you about this. So this one's still in theaters now, and it's getting a ton of buzz for being this fantastic conglomeration of beautiful, beautiful, Asian, like weirdly
Like,
beautiful.
Unpleasantly beautiful because
Completely.
it reminds you of what a fat slob you are.
I know. I've started exercising after seeing this movie, and I've been trying to like cut out like some of my drinks each day. But so many.
I've just given up.
So many.
I saw those people and I was like, I'm
and you're
done.
like, it's not worth it.
It's just
it's
I
not
will
worth
never
it at all.
achieve
So
this
I've
life.
never seen as many beautiful people in one space together ever, and I loved every bit of it. The opulence of like everything in this entire thing.
Like
Amongst these
that
people,
wedding scene.
The wedding scene was
The wedding
amazing.
was just like,
with the water.
oh my God. It was so beautiful.
Rob and I had like a cheese plate at our wedding, like a cheese and sausage plate, and
Did
like
it float down the aisle on lotus petals?
no, on
Then
like
fuck you.
on like grease, barbecue grease. Probably it floated down on the aisle. I don't know. I just was like, these people did it right from like scenery perspective and whatever.
No, the set pieces in this movie are tremendous.
It's a
Yeah.
romantic comedy that has set pieces. I
Yes.
think that's a
Right.
lot.
And so it's romantic and it's fun and it's lightweight and it's just really like a silly, like I had a silly, happy grin on my face from beginning to end of this movie. I left feeling good. Beautiful, like I said. Did I say beautiful people?
Oh, yeah.
I maybe
That's
didn't
where we
mention
led
that.
with.
No, I know. Just kidding.
Who's the
But-
most beautiful person in this movie?
Oh gosh, that's so hard. You know who I actually really like is, I'm going to probably butcher her name. Is it Gemma Chan?
Yeah.
Okay. Gemma Chan, OMG. She's just really, really, really stunning. That's, I think, the sister of the boyfriend or the sister of the guy that's going to get married.
Plays
Nick
Astrid.
Young.
She plays Astrid.
Plays
yeah.
Astrid.
Right.
I hope she gets a movie of her own. Maybe. Hopefully. Gorgeous lady. Loved the story. Loved the like semi-drama. It didn't take me into like a place where it was too much. It was just the right amount
it
of
is
drama.
just the exact correct amount of serious
Yes.
to make it feel like it's not a complete
a fluff.
soap bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Loved it, and I totally recommend seeing it in theaters. And for all my non-movie going film aficionado people, loving it. So if you're one of those people,
Trying to pick
race out
my
there.
favorite handsome or
You liked-
beautiful
you
person.
liked,
I like the husband, the Astrid's husband.
Oh, I won't tell
See,
you.
of
yeah.
the men in the cast, I think I liked the boyfriend best. But
Oh,
I would actually
Henry
also
Golding?
I would agree with you, Carrie. I think that
So interestingly, Constance Wu, who's the main gal who's getting married, did you know that she is in the Lego Ninjago movie?
interesting.
She plays the mayor.
Oh, not
I
a
need to go
memorable-
back to this.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Bad movie.
Is it? No, but I mean, is the mayor a dude?
Why a mayor is?
I mean, if it's being played by a
gender
woman,
neutral term?
probably not.
Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to YouTube this. and
Shall
see.
we in future say mayorette for you so you're not
mayorette.
confused when people break out of your blinkered
I'm just
genderized
thinking in
worldview?
Lego Ninjago, they're not going to be like really breaking out the gender
Lady
stereotypes.
mayors have been around for like 180
I know, but the
years.
Lego Ninjago movie.
For me, I'm ecstatic that this movie is getting the love that it is because it's deserved, and hopefully it opens up future opportunities for all Asian casts and things like this. It's the way
Everybody,
movies should be made.
yeah.
And the problem for me was just from
Awkwafina.
a movie.
She's
Yeah.
so much better in this than in Ocean's
Yes,
8. I don't
better.
even
Totally.
understand
Yes.
it.
Totally.
I did not find Ken Jeong funny.
Her
at all.
dad?
Well, he's never funny. He's
Yeah.
he's a toxic waste dump every time he comes on screen.
Thank you.
That's just his shtick. He's awful.
It was a
Her brother was
clunky
funny, though.
Brother's okay.
First act for me as well too. I don't know how you felt about the
the first
probably
act.
read your review.
You should
but-
because I talk about how the first act feels like it is cutting out like an entire movie's worth of conflict and stuff. Especially when like she discovers that her boyfriend is worth like $1 billion and that takes her 5 seconds to process.
She's like, no big deal.
Like that is a movie. That is an entire
Right.
film around that plot point.
Right.
That didn't matter to me.
might matter to
I
me
think I
kind of
would
a
do
lot,
that. I'd be
actually.
like, I don't care.
And,
Sure.
certainly some touching moments, particularly, having a lot of Asian friends.
mom.
Like, and growing up, not that there's too many similarities, but I'm a first generation kid. My parents are both foreign born from Poland. And some of the having to prove yourself and like never good enough.
And my
kind
parents
of,
really, really stuck it to you. Rob, we love your planning abilities. Rob, you're so
it does
wonderful.
fill my
Yeah.
bucket because you don't get that with foreign-born parents. You don't get a lot of that kind of support.
I see.
That's what I'm saying. And it's maybe not to the level of as I've seen portrayed in Asian cultures. And again, having some Asian friends as well too. I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush, but generally, I think the movie does
higher standards.
A good job. Also, like the differences between an American Asian person and someone who is nationally Asian as well too. And it's funny that there is that.
But they were trying to tell that story,
no, and that's
very
what I'm saying.
clearly.
That is something that the film is aware of and isn't quite sure what to do with, but it knows it's there, which I already appreciate.
And what's frustrating to me is, as I thought about that too, it's not like we draw that distinction for African Americans. We don't think, oh well, Africans and African Americans, like, oh, they're probably similar.
What?
Well, similar from how like that they don't have any unique. Like that they're.
Are you saying we do or we don't do that?
No, that we don't bunch them together.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying we do.
No, like Asians and Asians Americans. It's like it feels like our society just assumes that they're the same, that they had the same life experiences.
Sure.
And we don't. We wouldn't do that with African Americans. We don't do it with Mexican. Oh, maybe our society does it with Mexican Americans as well too. But I just feel like for Asian Americans, it's like, well, you're Asian American and you're Asian. It's the same thing. It's not
very
the
different,
same thing.
yeah.
It's not the same thing for anybody. I'm Polish American. It's not the same. I'm not.
Yeah, your parents
way
are
to
scary.
center yourself, Whitey.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck you.
So
Rob's parents are real scary.
I think that
Rob's parents are like enormously not American.
The hyphen American population needed some distinction in there, and I'm glad that there are movies like centering on that.
Yeah,
I just thought that was interesting. So good pick here.
Thanks. That's my number 3, and you took my number 2 with Incredibles 2, so that takes it to your 3.
That's my number 3.
Yep.
So speaking of movies that have political things to say,
oh boy,
a movie that I know you guys both loved because it's so good and it speaks so deeply.
But you're putting this above of Blind Spotting then?
Yes, I am.
Because I think I'll like Blind Spotting more.
I don't care. This is my list.
Okay.
Boots Riley, longtime political rapper, made his first film as a writer and director this summer. Sorry to bother you.
You're right. You are bothering me.
Apology not accepted.
This movie ecstasy to watch. Like, it is all I want movies to be.
I agree with you on Act 1 and 2.
I liked every minute.
I know you do,
movie.
but you're a weirdo.
I don't care. So this is a movie. I'm not even going to say what the movie's about because it's about a lot of things. Basically, this movie attempts to diagnose the state of America with a particular eye to race relations in 2018. Also, like Blind Spotting, set in Oakland, California. The two films were filming in Oakland at the same time, which is just incredible to me. The casts and crews were like interacting with each other. Lakeith Stanfield is the main character who goes to get a job in a call center, starts using his quote unquote white voice to like impress clients on the phone. Things go very strange from there, becomes all about like capitalism and race and gender and activism versus whether activism doesn't work or does work. And all of this, like, it has so many ideas about every aspect of like oppression and the class system in America. And then on top of that, it has this just endlessly inventive cinematic language. Boots Riley clearly has seen and loved so many movies, is trying to do so many different things with his own film. And I get why you don't like it.
Yeah,
because he's not filtering anything and he goes to some weird ass places.
I'm even okay with the not filtering, sort of. But and I actually liked Act 1 and 2. I liked Lakeith Stanfield's. I love his relationship with the girl who's
Tessa Thompson.
Yes,
who's so good.
So good. And I loved the over the top, overt, in your face commentary. I actually was totally fine with that and loved that. And I liked the capitalism piece.
It's
I liked all of that.
Right?
It's the plot twist where it's like, now you've like diverted from the message of the story by going down this really weird
entirely
path.
Our message.
How is that on a like?
We can't talk about that spoiling
I
the
know, but if you've seen this movie, it goes down this path that you're like, now I forgot what this is about. I'm so distracted by
until
this
it jumps the
situation.
rails for me. It was even just a mildly good movie, but when it goes off the rails for me, then it's just
to me it is a movie that I treasure.
How many stars did you give this?
4.5.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
I mean,
better than Blind Spotting. Okay.
It was weird to only put this at number 3 because of how much I loved it. It just speaks to how much more I loved it.
I think it's worth seeing. I think it's worth people seeing. I
to
think
me,
it's
like I said,
good in a
this
lot
is
of
like
ways.
if cinema was living here, like this is what movies were right now, I would be the happiest man alive.
Some top-notch performances in there. You mentioned two of them. I also feel Armie Hammer gave a
very good,
really fun,
as a sort of like
fun performance.
Sort of like
Repo.
like Elon Musk by way of Terry Gilliam performance. Very, very good.
Super creep.
So Tim, I know you just went, but do you feel like you have enough to
Right,
go
'cause
again?
I stole your number twos.
Yes.
So my number two, which was not on my list of anticipated films because I had already seen it at a film festival. So I kind of feel weird about including it on the summer list, but it was a summer release. This was First Reformed.
Yeah.
Written and directed by Paul Schrader. It is a movie about a priest played by Ethan Hawke, who is the pastor at the First Reformed, like a very important First Reformed church in New England, who does not know his path. And so he meets with a young couple. The wife is played by Amanda Seyfried. The husband is not played by anyone of particular note, and I don't remember his name, who are having their own sort of personal crisis related to, well, look around the world at us. It's falling apart, and we're destroying the environment. And what does God have to think about this? And the pastor doesn't know. And he sort of goes into this like this place where he doesn't know what to do with himself, and then he finds something that maybe is what he needs to do. Really extraordinarily good art movie on the like old school model. Feels very much like a 60s film. In fact, it feels very much like specific old art films. It very clearly is drawing from Robert Bresson's Diary of a Country Priest and Ingmar Bergman's Winterlight. Also drawing from Schrader's own screenplay for Taxi Driver, written by Martin Scorsese. So it's not new stuff.
Did you see this one, Rob?
No, it was limited release here in Madison. It's something that I'm interested in seeing. I don't know if it's too artful for me. I think I might actually like it. I think I might.
Maybe. I don't want to say you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And the fact that I don't want to say you wouldn't sort of tells me something about it. Amazing performances. Ethan Hawke is very rarely this good, maybe even never this good. Really beautiful movie. These imposing wide, low shots of just like things sort of looming over us, or the landscape just kind of being like huge and impressive. Very dark, grim, unhappy movie. Like there is nothing in this movie that is even
That's why I don't
minutely pleasurable.
I don't think Carrie will, from what I've heard about it, will find
I
any
like dark
joy.
and unpleasurable.
I don't know.
Do you like those things? Because I think that you don't.
I made it through
It
Boston
has
trip.
just released.
That's a great
That's
point.
true.
And this is only an hour and a half long.
It is
true.
just
That's the rest of your life.
It is just released on Blu-ray and streaming, I believe now. So I think a lot of people are starting to watch it, maybe for the first time if they missed it. It is getting a little bit of Oscar traction this early.
I
do you
think
feel like it'll make
Ethan
it?
Hawke for actor is one of those things that critics are going to definitely throw some awards at this one.
Okay.
for
Do you
sure.
feel maybe a Best Picture run? No. No nomination.
It's not so much. Like the problem is, Oscar nominations for Best Picture go to films that have like more explicit connections to the world around them, I think, than this movie has. It feels like this movie was fossilized in amber a little bit from the 60s.
Kara, do you remember in the movie, it's not called Ghost Story, where there's just a static shot of her eating pie?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm assuming that's what, from what I've heard,
Definitely,
there's like a lot of
you've
that.
not heard right.
Oh, it's not like long
There's
frame shots?
one.
Oh, okay. There's one frame shot.
And it's not the same as the pie shot.
Okay. There's no pie eating.
I will say this.
I like the pie shot.
Did you think the pie shot was the best thing you saw in a movie last year?
No.
Did you like it at all?
I actually don't remember the pie
Ghost
shot.
Story.
It's a 4.5 minute shot in real time of Rooney Mara eating a pecan pie.
Yeah, I remember eating pie.
It's a masterpiece of cinema. It's one of the great things that has happened
I
in my
zone out a
lifetime.
lot.
There's a shot in this movie twice as long, right?
But it's
Different?
It's different.
Not really
Okay.
into
I'm
pecan
excited to
pie
see it.
either. More into
It might
like
not have been.
blueberry.
I might have just read pecan into it. It might not
I
have
like
been
cream
pecan.
pies too. Was it a cream pie?
I actually don't know what kind of
And
pie
it's,
it was.
it's
I just made that up.
Forgive me, Paul Schrader.
Paul Schrader.
Paul Schrader. He wanted to show a particular style. It's a style of movie making, right? With transgressional, transformative. I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, it's very religious.
Yes.
If that's what you're trying to get for.
The shooting style of just having the long take or long.
Well, it's an art house film. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a very traditionally, like the aesthetic is not unusual. Nothing about this film is new.
Okay.
In a way that like Sorry to Bother You is a very new film. This is a very like comfort food for cinephiles sort of movie, but it's very, very well prepared.
That describes you, Rob.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see.
cinephiles.
I do love Ethan Hawke. I feel like we're having an Ethan Hawke renaissance of sorts, where he's in a lot of good stuff. He's always been good, right?
Yeah, but it was like
I like
Valerian. This.
Oh come! Well, he was the best part.
I like Valerian.
I know,
I'm a
yes.
pro. I think it made my top 5 last
Yes,
summer.
and I really
I liked
enjoyed
it
Ethan
too.
Hawke in that cameo. I must have done some We must have just skipped me. I forgot my number 3. I didn't talk about my number 3 at all.
It's probably not worth it.
No, it is. It is because it was on my most anticipated list as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how we got over my number 3.
Because you kicked it to me.
I did kick it to you too soon.
So what's your number
Too
3?
soon.
What's your number 3?
Deadpool 2.
Oh.
Interesting choice.
Yes, I really enjoyed this
Like
movie.
in a bad way, right, Tim?
I didn't remember him really liking it.
No. don't
I
think you
really
did.
enjoyed
I
it.
thought I liked it more than you did.
No, I bumped it up a half a star.
So I've
Right
created
at
this
the last
very
minute, yeah.
elaborate spreadsheet of
I
what
know, I'm
everybody
sorry.
scored their stuff, and it's not right because y'all are both just like
I've only done it
fudging.
the once.
We
I
have
only
to go
did it with
back.
Christopher
We have to
Robin.
go back, and I'm like, you know what? When I sit down and think about it, I really enjoyed it.
All
It
right.
brings back Ryan Reynolds, T.J. Miller, Karan Soni, and introduces some new characters with Cable. It's played by Josh Brolin. Julian Dennison is Fire Fist. Man. Zazie Beetz as well, who's
Zazie Beetz
unforgettable in this movie.
ran away with this movie. Oh my god.
There's a plot. I won't go into it.
Whatever.
It is, who cares what the plot is?
Who cares what the plot
It's
is?
funny, self-referential. It's referential against lots of different things, but particularly superhero movies. Just has a lot of fun with it, a lot of tongue-in-cheek and tongue sticking straight out.
Tongues happening with stuff.
All over the place. Listeners, Brennan Klein, Nega Scott 12, and Not Fenimore also had this on their list. But it was just a fun, joyful ride.
So much better than the first one.
So
thought.
much
I
better.
agree.
If we're talking about sequels better than the first, this one certainly it knows what it wants to do, and it's hitting on all cylinders. And I was worried. I was worried about having it on my list that it would just be retrotting a lot of the same stuff, the jokes that didn't make it off the first one. But no, it found new life in its sequel. I'm looking forward to more of these.
I am not, but I'm glad that this
Okay.
one was good enough because I feel like it was a very difficult high wire act, but they did carry it off in this case, I think.
Yeah, I'm hopeful now.
It's okay.
You just thought it was okay?
all right.
Now to number 1.
To number ones. Are you going to insert any music here?
No.
Like a
You can do a drum roll.
It's a
Drum
beautiful day in the neighborhood.
You don't know
How do
me.
you think I knew?
I don't know.
Well, it's two things. Number 1, you just enjoyed it. And number 2,
I just enjoyed it?
Well, no, we know you just purely enjoyed
You
it.
gave it
yeah.
5 stars.
You gave it 5 stars,
Oh.
but then also number 2, you have to because it's you cheat on these.
I
games
don't
that we
cheat. I
play.
only chose 2 of mine. I chose one of yours, and then I chose a couple randoms as well. But Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Yep.
Yeah, is for everybody out there with a heart and a soul that matters. This is on your list, so I'm assuming I'm the only one
Yep.
that has this. If you missed this, Won't You Be My Neighbor is about Fred Rogers. It's a documentary about his life, and it's fantastic. It's so good. And Tim didn't like it
He's a
because of
nice
all
man.
these like things and rules and colors and stuff.
just boring.
It's not that boring. Well, no,
boring.
but Mr. Rogers' life.
Was boring, apparently.
No, it's that his life wasn't complex, like in a lot of ways. It was simple, and he cared about simple things and simple communication and simple, like, understandings
Simple
of how we
filmmaking
comfort.
technique.
No, so how we care and comfort each other in our lives, and how we get through life without being douchers. And it's like such a small amount of the population actually knows how to do that. So if we all watch this movie,
And this movie makes me a little angry,
Oh.
only because I think I think of the potential of how I could have been moved, because it portrays a great human being, and there's no argument there. And doing
And
great
if it had
human
portrayed
beings.
a bad human being, you would have been more like emotionally invested in it.
yeah,
No, I just wanted
like
to
a
see
Hitler
it by
documentary
a,
would
by
have
a,
gotten you.
If it was made well, I would have enjoyed it. Yeah, this
It
one,
was
I
a
just didn't feel
recap of his life. It was a recap, and it was a telling, and it was pieces together of photos and video and stories of his life and how he impacted people. And you couldn't have left this movie without feeling moved and motivated to like get back to being a nice person.
I would like to, if I may, share the online review written by a friend of mine.
I only want to hear it if it's positive.
It's from Nick Davis, who is a professor at Northwestern University, a mentor of mine, very, very wonderful human being.
Oh, boy.
Who gave the film B-. So he actually, I think his B- is like my 3.5 maybe.
Okay.
So he liked it a little more than I did. Fred Rogers' goodness indeed offers a welcome balm just now. That everyone already agrees perhaps suggests that it's a slim hook for a film.
I don't think so, but nothing's ever. I think it's been long enough that he's been gone that I think in the world that we live in today,
Is it a message we
reminder?
need
Is
right
it a message?
now?
Yeah, same.
Sure.
I think I could apply the same thing to all of these other movies that are coming out.
We need to
speaking about
know
race
there are
relations,
good
like,
human beings out there in
Right.
the world.
Reminder
Although I don't
of
feel
how to
like
be.
the movie made me feel like he's the like. I
To
didn't
me,
feel like
there is. It's a nice movie.
You guys are just worried about hurting my feelings now. You
Well,
don't
I'm
have
worried
to-
about hurting Fred Rogers' feelings.
Oh yeah, I'd be more
I could
worried
care
about
less
that.
about your feelings.
He's gonna come back after you and
That's
be
the
like,
thing. I don't
yeah.
think he would because he's not. He would be a
You're
very
right,
nice
you're right.
zombie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
do
almost
that.
See, now that's a movie I want to see.
See, this is where I need to get better because I would come after you, and now I need to try and be better. But
It's a nice
I love
movie about a
this.
nice man.
I left feeling reinvigorated with life, and then I just need to keep rewatching it daily, and to feel inspired.
All right.
All right.
Number ones, Tim. That's what we're
We
left
have the
with.
same number one.
Of course we
have
do.
the same number one.
Yes.
Mission Impossible Fallout, in which Tom
Absolutely.
Cruise runs and jumps and stands still,
Again.
hangs on a helicopter.
Again.
He's not hung on a. There's no again. This is the first time he's hung on a helicopter.
It's hung on
Madam.
something. Again.
Many things. Tom Cruise flies a helicopter through canyons. There's a helicopter chase scene. And that is why it's my number one. Because it has a helicopter chase
My dad
scene.
still doesn't believe me that Tom Cruise learned to fly a helicopter just so that he could do what he does in the helicopter.
I mean, your dad needs to have a little faith.
Yeah. I think it's just so incredible. And this one gets extra credit because of all of those things. But just on its surface, even if all of those weren't done practically, which I don't know if they all needed to be, I think
mean,
a lot of it is just showing off that, like...
Oh, sure. But that's the pleasure of it to
Right.
me, is that it is just showing off. I do think the opening, the Halo jump, which was the thing I was excited about, is a good Halo jump by all means, but I think they added too much CGI around it to like make a big scary thunderstorm, which was just kind of whatever, and it was not good. Every other stunt was just like I was like a child again.
Did you guys both give this 5 stars?
I gave it 4.5. I'm thinking of bumping it to...
What did you give it?
I gave it 5.
5?
Yeah.
If I could have given it 5.5, I'd have given it 5.5.
I love that you love these
This is my
ridiculous
second
movies.
favorite popcorn movie of the decade after Mad Max
It is a
Fury Road.
perfect summer movie. Just action
It is.
all over the place.
It is
and
full of things I had never seen in a film before, and that is not an experience I get ever.
Yeah. Okay.
And you fell asleep.
Yeah, there wasn't like enough to
In a
keep me
theater.
awake, you know?
You know what movie was full of things I had already seen on PBS for 10 years of my life?
You didn't watch enough, clearly, about those mom jokes. You know what Fred would say about the mom jokes?
I think he would judge me very harshly for a lot of the things that I say.
It's just an impressive... Mission Impossible is just an impressive movie. I was a little worried about Henry Cavill. Great antagonist.
He's so good in
He's so
it.
I thought
good.
he was kind of boring and
So
stiff.
good. And the bathroom
You know,
action
it was
scene.
stiff.
Nice.
It was me watching Henry
There you
Cavill.
go, yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't. That's not a callback because I didn't do that on the air. It was going to be a callback about erections, and now it's just me
And
being
now
weird.
it's weird. Now it's
Ooh,
weird. Don't
rough.
cut that.
The action scene with him and Tom Cruise in the bathroom where he reloads his arms.
Yes.
Just, and that was in the trailer.
That's such a perfect example of like the tiny things that make it a great film. So it's an action scene between 3 guys fighting in a bathroom. Great, done. It's the way that it starts in this pristine, all-white, tiled bathroom so that you can clearly see the progression of damage to the room. It's just like, yes, of course. Why wouldn't you do it? But how many people would just do it in a bathroom?
right. It's every choice was intentional and
Carrie,
artful.
I see you shake. I'm looking not at
you're
you.
like,
now.
Were you
you're,
awake
like,
during the
pushing
bathroom?
this-
Were you awake during the
Yeah,
bathroom
I saw the
scene?
bathroom
Oh
scene.
my
It was like,
gosh.
you guys are like pushing this into a mold
It's
that
art.
you want it to be.
It's art.
Is that
It's
art?
art.
It's art.
It's art.
Art is those raid movies you made me watch.
Those are also art.
That's a bathroom scene.
I like
is
this movie better than either Raid, which makes me feel
Oh.
really like weird and bad.
That should. This is like, those people are like hardcore. This is just like,
Pretty hardcore.
you guys are like, they didn't make
Tom
it.
Cruise broke his ankle.
That's cool. That's really cool. But I don't think they were like, ooh, we're gonna like do it in a white bathroom
Of course
scene.
they were.
just
They,
to, like,
they didn't do it by accident.
I think it was
Some of the plot points don't make any sense to me, but I'm not asking this
I'm not
movie
asking for
to do that. No, I don't. That's not why I go to see
to
this movie.
dissects all of these other movies. For
I don't-
all
I
their
don't care about
nuances.
plot points.
I don't care about plot.
I don't care about plot. I never care about plot.
Oh, okay.
Read my review of The Nun, where I basically say, yeah, plot's really bad, whatever.
But still, 3.5.
It is. Yeah. I'm hope McQuarrie gets
I'm glad you guys
another
loved it.
crack at the Mission Impossible.
I hope
or
he
can
gets
move
a
on to
crack
something
at something else.
big, something big.
I think he has told his part of the universe.
Yes. Well,
I also think the next one was going to have Tom Cruise in the spaceship.
I hope he gets to call his shot and do whatever he gets a green light for whatever little thing he wants to do, and we get to
Hopefully
see
putting Tom Cruise in a space shuttle.
Let's do it. Martha Sandler, Ryog Nok, and CRD also had Mission Impossible Fallout on their list. So any regrets from the summer before we head
Blind
into
Spotting.
a recap?
I regret watching Carrie's films.
Oh, what was your favorite though?
The only one of yours that I actually wish that I had not spent the time and money to see was A Kid Like Jake.
What was the one that you enjoyed the most?
Ocean's 8, actually.
Oh, Ocean's. Oh, gosh, that was boring.
I have 3 regrets. I did not see Leave No Trace, and I think I would have liked that.
I think you would have liked
a
Leave No
lot.
Trace.
Would Searching have made the list for me?
I think was
For
it a
summer?
post? It's not a summer movie.
No, it's a summer movie.
Oh,
Would that have
maybe.
made I think I would have liked that maybe. I saw
Maybe.
your review of it. I like those kinds of movies.
You do like those kinds of movies.
Yeah.
It's
maybe.
still around.
Maybe a regret.
And 8th grade. I think I would have
Eighth
really
grade,
liked
I
8th
really
grade.
think
I don't
probably should have seen.
know. 8th Grade is a very distressing movie. I don't think you would have liked it, Carrie. I think you would have been made
interested.
very uncomfortable by what happens to the main character.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, see?
So all movies we need to catch up with to see if we were correct that they made it
And
correct.
for the record, I did not see everything I wanted to see, and what I most regret missing out on is probably Dinesh D'Souza's Death of a Nation, because I also believe you need to see the worst movies in order to have a good worst of list, and that movie looked like hot dog shit.
So Tim, I know you usually track how we do on these most anticipated
Yeah,
lists to
but
see
now
who
that you're
won.
all like changing all your star ratings, I don't know.
That's
I just
true.
don't know.
I'm sorry.
But
I
won
won
anyway.
Just Christopher Robin.
But the preliminary, that's the only one you changed?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Rob is like
I'm all over the place.
Sorry.
Well, the preliminary results were that, to very little surprise of any of us, I think, you both liked my films the least by
I
a
can see
pretty
that.
decent amount.
Yeah.
I was the best at predicting what I was going to like
Okay, that's usually me.
by quite a lot.
Yeah.
In part
I
because
mean, that's usually you.
I usually pick the movie, like
she
usually.
usually
because
lies.
she cheats. Right.
Right.
She
The lying and
cheats.
cheating. Right.
And mostly it's because all 3 of us picked Ocean's 8. It was the only film on all 3 of our lists, and I'm the only person who liked it. So like
Okay.
that sort of automatically put my list above that. But I loved my films that were on my predicted list, and you guys only merely liked yours.
Yeah.
Rob, you did the worst job predicting what you were going to like. Actually, if I recall the numbers correctly, I don't have them right in front of me. I think, Rob, you liked Carrie's films more than you liked your own.
Hey there. Look at that.
Really?
Yeah.
Based on the star readings that are now obsolete.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like Ocean's 8 very much in Sicario, so that really-
Sicario, that's the thing.
Sicario was crap.
So the best film by a decent amount was The Incredibles 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, my ratings for some of my things sort of weirdly skewed mine up. So I'm just going to say our consensus pick for best film was very much Incredibles 2.
Okay.
And then consensus pick for number 2 was actually Hearts Beat Loud.
See?
Our consensus pick for worst by over one full integer was Sicario 2.
Yeah.
It's very, very bad.
It's very bad.
Yeah.
In a lot of
that
ways.
Hurt me. That hurt me bad.
Yeah.
Well, every week we ask you to share your picks and thoughts for a chance to win a free Amazon movie rental. Based on the results, here were your top 5 picks. We had at number 5, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Very nice. Yeah, pretty good.
That's a motion picture.
Yeah. First Reform, Tim.
Hey.
So people are seeing it.
Good.
They're writing in about it. Incredibles 2 at number 3.
I would have thought that would have been number 1 for sure.
Yeah. At number 2, Black Klansman, which I suspected would be on your list above the other two.
It was
social
definitely to
commentary.
me not nearly as good as either Blind Spotting or Sorry to Bother You, while inhabiting kind of the same thematic space.
Okay. And at number 1, no surprise, much to Carrie's chagrin, is Mission Impossible Fallout.
Okay.
Our lucky winner this week is Ben Berkowitz, who had at number 5, Won't You Be My Neighbor? A little love for Carrie's pick there. Number 4, Upgrade.
Didn't see Upgrade.
I know. No regrets there?
Maybe.
You'll think
I'm going to see Upgrade.
you'll think some of the choreography and the shots are pretty sweet. There are some really nice inventive things in there. It just doesn't carry through for me for the whole movie, but good pick. I wish it was better for me than it was. Mission Impossible Fallout 3 for Ben, number 2, Incredibles 2, and Black Klansman at number 1.
All right.
Ben, shoot us an email at contact@alternateending.com for details on how to claim your free Amazon movie rental. If you want to win a free movie like Amazon rental like Ben, be on the lookout for a spoiler or top 5 movie posts on Facebook and Twitter to share your favorite picks. In closing, I want to thank everybody for listening. Go out to our Facebook page and like it. We're pushing a lot of material out there, so if you follow Facebook a lot, that's where you'll find all about the latest and greatest things there. On Twitter, we're active on there as well, tweeting out all of our reviews, podcasts, and articles. alternateending.com, we'll find all of those things and more. Subscribe to our podcasts on iTunes or Google, and don't forget about our Patreon. With summer movies behind us now, we look forward to fall with our most anticipated movies for the rest of 2018. We will catch you then.